And what a time to do it, because here we are kicking off WrestleMania week. It's in the Northeast, Philadelphia, Saturday, Sunday, Peacock here in America at Lincoln Financial Field. In my opinion, no better way to kick it off than with this guest joining us in studio for the very first time, and having an opportunity to talk to him for the first time in a long time is the best in the world, CM Punk. Is he there? There he is. The man himself.
Where do I sit?
You sit right here. How are you, sir?
What's up, buddy?
It's great to see you.
How are you?
Thanks for coming.
No problem.
It is really good.
This is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're going to be typing CM Punk for one of our loyal subscribers. Thank you for recommending him. We'll be using Linda Barrens Interaction Styles and Temperament, combined with Cognitive Functions. Highly recommend you guys pick up these books. We have all these metrics broken down in the video. I'll be leaving that in the comments. You can click on those and go through each of the metrics. I highly recommend you do that. Because once you do that, you'll be able to type your friends, family, whatever, whoever you want to, with way better accuracy. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. It takes some getting used to, but once you watch a couple of my videos, and you start typing friends and family and stuff, it'll start coming more naturally to you. I'm not gonna sit here and sell you a dream with this 100% accuracy under that bullshit. Yeah. And we also have the cognitive functions also broken down. I think those are by far the best on the internet, period. That's from me, from several different sources. Highly recommend you look at that. I'll be dropping a link to that as well. But first we'll be looking at what personality dummy base has for CM Punk. And then we'll be breaking them down and see what we find and see what his actual personality type is. Okay, so they have CM Punk as an ENTP with a lot of votes, okay, guys? We have our metrics here. Once we meet enough of these metrics, we'll go ahead and, put what his type is and things of that nature. So let's go look at the chart here. It's not, we'll be updating the chart very soon. But ENTPs, that's my older brother's personality type. So they're informative, initiating, progression, process, movement, all of the same thing. Abstract, so you're gonna be getting very abstract people from these type of people because they communicate with the abstraction. They're known, any DOMs are known for what is called verbal agility. Okay, so very articulate with their thinking and how they pronounce things. They can very wow the crowd or whatnot. They're TIFE and they're SINE. Okay, NESI because they got NE DOMs. So these people tend to be more systematic with their approach to things, but they don't hold true to being a systematic person. Do you understand why? I know people have been sold a dream from other content creators that ENTPs are the most systematic or triple systematic, but the thing is that NE is it doesn't really like systems, right? Because NE doesn't like to do things the same way, the same time. So generally speaking, these people have a systematic approach to things, but they'd rather hand you the system and tell you to do it because they want to try something different. They want to try something new. These are going to be your big ass innovators, okay? Innovating from a systematic point of view. But when it comes to following a system and doing a system over time, no, bro. These are not your types, bro. If I told my older brother to take the any test and ask him if he was systematic, he'd probably tell you no. He'd tell you no. Because the NE and SI are gonna be following that system left to right like a damn slave. But NE is like, bro, we gotta do something new. We gotta try something different. What are the possibilities open? Like, we did this last time. What are the possibilities? And I'm a slave to following those possibilities. So clear the gate on that. And we will be doing a video in the future on what I call the most amazing thing about the ENPs. It's called the NE flip. Okay, the NE flip, we'll be breaking that shit down because the NE flip destroys so many individuals. You can be talking to an ENTP, you got them like with the guns blazing, cops round and surrounding them, and guess what they do? Boom, NE flip, you like, where am I? You've been NE flipped. Okay? So we'll be breaking that down in the video. I'll just be going over like EMP, and we'll be reacting to that video, and we'll be laughing, we'll be having a good ass time because, like I said, that NE flip, bro. Gaslighting, you ain't never seen nothing like that NE flip. You gotta, if one thing you've learned about what we do over here is you got to be able to understand these NE heroes because You got to realize when you've been any flipped, because if you haven't, good fucking luck, bro.
See you.
It's good to see you. It's good to be.
CM Punk, I apologize for like going down that whole rabbit hole of things. But also, guys, we are doing the free typing sessions by us. All you have to do is join the Discord. We have a tab in there that says, please request a typing session. Click on that and we'll get back to you guys. The Discord is really popping off. I really love what the moderators are doing over there. They are absolutely amazing. People really stepping up. So get over there. Like we say, we want to have the most accurate MBTI space when it comes to like getting information. So that's why we do all these things for free. We're channeling that all back to the overall end goal here. So please join that. Get in that, and because like we always say this as well, you can ask me any questions, man. Like I'm a cool guy. I work a lot and do a lot of things, so it may take me a while to get back to you, but I do generally get back to you. But I will give you the best piece of advice I can based off whatever you send me. If you're asking for type, relationship, compatibility, life advice, anything, I will give you the best I can. So yeah, join our Discord group and get in that. So CM Punk, let's go.
Like in person.
Yes.
And I get to see all this cool stuff.
A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. It's like
I haven't seen you in person.
It's like a little museum.
Yes, my little shrine to all things combat and a little bit of Bill's and some other stuff as well. I think the last time I saw you in person, welcome, here we are.
I love it.
This is pretty fun.
Yeah,
Some people
yeah.
didn't think it would actually happen, by the way.
Why?
They thought I was doing like there's my guy right there.
This is my guy.
Yeah. You and I both.
Go ahead. Just hold on to Brett.
Yeah. Comfort you throughout this. I think the last time I saw you in person was in that little room in Chicago, 2018, right before your last UFC fight. An 800-pound gorilla had just been lifted off your shoulders that week.
Oh, geez.
And we did a sit down.
Okay, all right. So you say that puts me in that place. Now I know.
That's the last time we saw each other in person. We have talked since then.
Yeah.
But this is tremendous.
First of all, the guy was talking about information, and generally speaking, when you're talking to an SE user, when you're giving them a certain information, then they can use that information to be a totem. So we don't hit him for SE and I there. Because as soon as that guy started talking, he could understand exactly where he's come from. And it wasn't like, it was like basically like I saw it, you gave me the memory, and then I can remember what happened there. So I'm here for SENI there. He's coming off very direct. Okay. We're direct and SENI, we're looking at an STP or an NTJ. All right. No, we might be looking at NFJ as well.
Really appreciate this.
No
You look
problem.
fantastic.
Thanks for having me. Do I though? I stressed about.
No,
do I wear
I
a
think
hat?
you look
Do I do my hair? What do I wear?
The
I don't
hat
know.
makes like shadows on the eyes.
Well, my smarter than me wife. I said, "What do I do?" And she said, "Do your hair. Show your handsome face."
Yes.
So I always listen to the boss.
You always change the hair, by the way, because like when you came back in November, you had like a bit of a fade.
Yeah.
And then it grew back into this.
Very important to always change the look. Different stages of your career.
This is kind
It's
of
important to change the stage of your look. I'm a hitter for progression, man. That's like, hitting on the I told you guys that I'm changing that to journey, but that's hitting towards the mindset of a journey mindset, like changing the hair based off the journey or the place that you're in. So hitting for journey there.
the throwback.
Yeah, 100%. Of course. Yeah, because I'm back to I'm back home. I'm back where I belong.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we get into everything. And I can't wait to talk to you about all this. Most importantly, how are you feeling? How is the tricep?
I feel really, really good. I think there's part of me that doesn't want everybody to know. I want to keep it a bit of a secret. But I feel way better than I think I should.
Okay.
It's giving me sort of a false sense of security. And there's very much the hockey player in my head, just like, oh, you could have made Mania. You could have just taped it up and
Really?
Yeah, they're protecting me against myself though.
You think you actually could have been involved in a physical way?
I like I said, they're protecting me against myself, which
Are
is
doctors
a
backing this
welcome
up?
change.
Yes,
100%. Like I love it. I'm the one that's trying to push everything based on protocols for ruptured tricep tendon, but they're telling me to pump the brakes, and I just sitting back, listening to them as best I can.
You have torn that tricep.
Yeah.
Is it the exact same injury?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Felt the same?
No. This one didn't feel like anything. It didn't hurt at all. It just felt like a rubber band snapped in my arm. This one, I very seldomly use the word agonizing. This was very, very painful.
Wow.
Yeah, it hurt like hell.
And it happened in the Royal Rumble match?
Yep. It made me optimistic because I was like, oh, well, certainly I didn't tear it off the bone like the other one. Like maybe I don't know. Because it hurt. Like I knew immediately.
Wow.
I was just like, oh, this isn't good.
How far into the match? Do you remember the moment it happened?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Not that far into it. I still had a bit to go. You know?
And you just had to gut it out?
You make split-second assessments, I think, in situations like that, you know? And I have famously been in Royal Rumbles before where I, probably should have been taken out of them. But this wasn't a concussion, and this was one of those things where I grabbed my arm, dig my finger right in there where my tricep's supposed to be, and there's just a big hole, and I just go, okay, all right, so it's gone. It can't get any worse. You just kind of power through. That's a situation where I think it's acceptable to make the call as a wrestler. Like most other times, I want everyone else to make the call.
Right. There was some hypothesis that an audible was called as a result of this. Is that accurate?
No, but good. I want people to think that.
Okay.
That's the great thing about me.
Right.
I want people to think that. So he's talking about what he wants. I skipped over the first want thing, because I want to get them in a rhythm. So what we see over time.
It's always audibles. Oh, that didn't mean to happen. Good.
So this is a weird one because, I've been thinking about this interview. I actually drove to Montreal to see my sister. She just gave birth to a girl.
Mazel tov.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I was in the car by myself, 6 hours here to there, 6 hours back. And all I did was think about this chat because there's so many chapters since we last spoke that I'd love to cover with you.
Sure.
But the chapter that I think is most interesting to start with is the return, if we can. So WWE is back in Chicago, Survivor Series, November 2023. Mm-hmm. You return. When does that ball start to roll? Because I think a lot of people are hoping, all right, you're free and clear. Could it happen? They're looking for any sign. Someone says something in commentary. Oh my God, he's foreshadowing. When does that ball actually start to roll towards the return on that Saturday night?
Slight percentages, I think, over the years start that ball.
Slight percentages over the year. So I'm gonna hit them for progression again. Journey. That's journey. Slight progressions over the years. So we're hitting for journey there, guys. We keep going.
Slight percentages, I think, over the years start that ball rolling, but to really get in, the action of it started the week of, I think, Thanksgiving, maybe. I'd have to look at a calendar to figure out dates exactly. I remember times and places of where I was when I would get phone calls and such. And I had a CFFC show coming up, I think. So I got a call from Nick Khan. And he was just like, hey, we want to talk to you. And I was like, cool. On my way to the gym, and I got this coming up, CFFC.
He's referencing a lot of extra information when he's talking about his memories and whatnot, and using them to recant his memories. So he's using them as a totem. So I'm hitting for SE and I there, okay? Because SE and NI on an axis together. If you got SE, you got NI, and NI, you got SE. Doesn't depend on the strength or whatever. You just knock both of those down. So we're looking like we got a direct responding SENI progression. So we're looking like we got a finisher here, or we got a finisher or a what is it called? Chart the course. So that's looking like we have an ISTP, INTJ, or INFJ. Haven't got many abstractions, so it's looking like we got ISTP here.
See, I'll be back there. Cool. You want to talk Monday? Great. So it was the week of Thanksgiving, Monday. I spoke to him.
And to be clear, for those that may not know, Survivor Series was the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Thanksgiving is a Thursday.
Yeah, so Monday
of that week,
before I came back.
That's 5 days away from Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You get the call.
Yeah.
What was that call like?
I think the call, I'm always so nervous about pulling the curtain back on stuff, but I think the call was more of a, hey, we want to talk to you about coming back. You know, we'd love you for Royal Rumble, you know, and because they assumed that I probably had some sort of a non-compete or something like that, and were kind of floored when I was like, no, man, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Saturday.
Did you ever have a non-compete, even if it was for a month?
No.
Zero. You could have signed the next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Nick said, I really wish I knew that. Sorry, man. I didn't call or tell anybody. I just kind of laid low for a minute.
So from that phone call to a deal being struck, how long does it take?
I mean, every single minute of all those days. It really ramped up because it was like, hey, I want to talk to you about coming back.
I'm hitting for direct. All right, I'm hitting for direct. This guy's very direct. He's very specific, concise, and to the point with his speech. There's nothing that I'm left up to wonder what this guy's saying. So we're going to go ahead and hit him for direct. That eliminates 8 types because there's 8 informing types and there's 8 direct types, okay? So that means your get things going, or the starter type. That means the isfj, enfp, entp, and ESFP are eliminated, and that means your background types or the background, whatever. Background, ISFP, INTP, INFP, and ISFJ are eliminated because this guy's direct. So we're looking at an ESTJ, ENTJ, ENFJ, or ESTP. And then we got on the finisher side, we got like a couple points for progression here. So we're looking at ISTP, ISTJ, INFJ, or INTJ. Okay, that's what we're looking at mainly here. We're looking like we got a finisher here with this guy, and he doesn't seem to be going abstract. So unfortunately, look, we got an ISP.
Okay, you know, this is how I feel. Oh, well, this is how I feel. Okay, great. You know, I'd really love to talk to Triple H. You know, and it's funny now because everybody calls him Paul.
Right.
You know, so I'll go to Barclays after this later today, and somebody will come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, I was talking to Paul about this, and we need you to do this, and blah blah blah." And for the entirety of the conversation, I'll be like, "Why is Paul Heyman?" Oh, they mean Paul. So that's a generational thing. You know, I always call him Triple H or Hunter. That's what it is. And then when I spoke to him, that's when the ball really got rolling, you know, because it was a very I asked him if he wanted to talk on the phone, and he said no. I would actually rather I would just like to FaceTime you so I can see you. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And we just talked about a whole lot of stuff, and about, you know, stuff that was at one point serious to probably both of us that is like silly now, and we just kind of laughed, buried a hatchet, and then we started talking business. And I was like, man, this is like Thanksgiving. I don't want to bother you. You're with your girls, like, you know, we can talk about it later. But then I was just like, oh, well, Friday, and then the show's Saturday. It all got done very, very fast. My lawyer was not stoked to be working OT on Thanksgiving, but he gets paid handsomely. So,
did you feel like that
his lawyer got out of the situation of everything that went on there? That's interest, man. Yeah, we got STP.
Conversation had to happen for this to proceed and be successful? Like, you couldn't just show up on Saturday at the arena without having that conversation with him?
I think there's a world where it very much didn't have to happen, but I think we're both men, and I think we're both, gonna talk about stuff, especially when it comes to business. But, I do think it was important knowing where we wanted to go to talk about stuff and get it all out of the way.
How long was it, the initial FaceTime call?
God, I don't know, Ariel. We chatted for a while, because I saw him, I don't know when it was, where I went to the building to visit people and I got thrown out.
That was in May, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. So I saw him for like a heartbeat there. So like, I think obviously things happen behind the scenes in sports, and they take on lives of their own, and people run with it, and people might not know,
people do. I'm here for SENI again. I'm trying to be hesitant to see, like, maybe I'm wrong here. I'm looking, making sure this guy's not concrete. But I'm getting concrete here with this guy.
Details, and of course everybody thinks, we hate each other. Like,
talking about what other people think, that's generally a TE statement, okay? But we'll hit him for TEFI1/.
Like on-site fist fight, hate each other. And I don't know if that was ever, the case, but that's kind of what we needed to talk about, And I saw him back in May, and and then I think he had to make a phone call, and somebody was like, "Now get him out of the building." All right, cool.
Was that Vince's call?
Yeah.
And did you show up?
This is all going back to, like, this guy's kind of pragmatic. This guy's pragmatic, okay? So he's rebellious. He's contrarian. He doesn't give a fuck, bro. I mean, he might risk it all. I mean, you can get anybody who at a certain point is ready to risk it all, but the pragmatic types just tend to just do it way more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know, like certain types just aren't gonna play with you when it comes to certain things. People ask me what type I think is the most pragmatic in my life personally. I think I can be very pragmatic. So I would say ENTJs can be very pragmatic. I think INTJs can be very pragmatic. But it depends on the ENTP you get. Because, boy, goddamn, you get one that's like my brother. God damn. Them motherfuckers like, bro, I'm not lying to you. If I had to deal with a person like my brother, I might have to put a bullet in his head, right? Like, that's just, like, where it has to go. Just realizing, like, who he is as a person, like, what, like, just how he is. Like, I just might have to, like, fucking, put a bullet in that motherfucker head. Like, I don't play around. And it's a blessing that I have him as my older brother, because it taught me a lot. I'll have him on the channel. He's always fighting me, and you know what I'm saying? I gotta, like, fucking call that motherfucker, and he's gonna make me feel like a piece of shit for calling him and waking him up, or like, oh, it's too early, but then he talked to me for the next 2 hours and he loves it. So we're gonna work on getting him on the channel. It's crazy motherfucker. But yeah, I think he can be very pragmatic. I think Christian also can be very pragmatic as an ISTP. But between those four, I believe they probably are the most pragmatic of all the types. I don't think ESTP is as pragmatic. They got an FE child just like looming in. So I mean, they could be pragmatic, but it's hit and miss. I see a lot of them being like nice guys a lot of times when I meet them. It is what it is.
Unannounced.
Yeah.
No one invited you.
Yeah, I was, again, I love plugging CFFC. We have a show coming up, by the way, April 12th in Atlantic City.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You'll be on the call for that?
I will be on the cans.
I love it.
Yeah.
You do a great job with those.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I did a CFFC in, I want to say Orlando or Tampa. I can't remember. And I was on a flight back to Chicago, and I was sitting next to a guy named Jason Jordan, he was a wrestler, got a neck injury, and now he's been a producer for WWE for quite some time. And like the last time I saw him was every bit of a decade ago, when I was doing like some charity stuff for Steve Kern. This is pre-NXT. It was called FCW. Mm-hmm. And I see him, and I'm looking at him, and like he looks at me, and he says hi, and I'm like, oh shit, dude doesn't recognize me. Okay, And then all of a sudden he turns and he looks, and he's like, oh, holy shit.
So it's all SC data here again. Tell what people are doing.
What are you doing here? And I was like, yeah, I thought it was you, and I'm chatting with him, and I see all these other wrestlers getting on the plane and stuff like that, and then there's a whole gap. There's a generation of people that I never met that started pretty much right after I left, 2014, 2015. Nice lady by the name of Liv Morgan helped me find my earbuds that fell out of my pocket while I was sleeping on the flight. She was a sweetheart. She whole plane empties, and she's like on her hands and knees, like looking around. She got small hands. She's like digging under the seats, and and looking for stuff. And then my friend Bailey messaged me, and she's like, "Oh, my friend Liv was on the flight with you. She says you were so nice to her."
All right, I'm hitting for SE&I here. This is so much like what other people are doing. He's not really talking about his own personal experience at all. He doesn't really care to talk about that. It comes here and there. So we're hitting for direct SE&I. So that means you got your STPs, you have your NTJs, and you have your NFJs. And this guy's coming up very concrete. Like we got a STP here. But we're hunting. You see, we're not making mistakes. Okay, just see.
I was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Yeah, we have a show in Chicago. You should come visit." Throwing Bailey under the bus now. Yeah, it's all her fault. And then I laughed because like I landed, got on the train, went home, and I was, I'm no wife,
all a journey or whatever. Fucking
no dog. I don't have anything to do. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go visit my friend Bailey, and I went.
And that was your first time back since 2014, backstage at a WWE event.
Yeah.
And did it feel good? Did you feel on edge? Because I thought when I asked you at the top here, like when did the ball start rolling? I thought maybe it started then, but you were still under contract, right, with AEW.
I went to visit people. There
was no ulterior motive.
I'm the old timer in the business, and there's a show in town. I wasn't trying to get a job or anything. I literally went, and I saw like the few people that I saw before I got thrown out. Like it was all, I saw Miz, saw Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, like everybody was just so nice and kind,
Speaking of BT, name drop.
That's the only reason I went, maybe for free catering. Yeah.
Were you mad
maybe for free catering? So that's talking about what you got out of it. That's interest.
They asked you to leave, or did you understand?
I expected it. I expected that to go. I wasn't sure if Vince was there, if he was. I think he was doing stuff remote via Zoom, because this is in between, like Vince is gone, now he's back, and I didn't know the politics of things. I just went to go say hi to Bailey, a few other people.
Did anyone from AEW get mad that you were there?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about that.
I think the word betrayed was used, and I was just like, all right, man. Like, as a company, you're allowing guys to go on their television show to do things. I went backstage to say hi to friends. It's two completely different things. Like, if you're going to be mad about it.
Pragmatic statement. Like, he knew he shouldn't be there. But he didn't give a fuck. He going to go say hi to his friend, bro. Fuck you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So back to November. That ball starts to roll. Survivor Series is Saturday. Mm-hmm. My understanding was, correct me if this is right or wrong, my understanding was you show up, and I think the show has already begun. You only signed your contract after you appeared on TV. Is that accurate?
No, they would never. I don't think they would ever have allowed me to even be on television without signing something.
Okay.
I literally like on the phone with okay, all right. Sign, go.
Okay, so maybe I got the timeline.
I signed and then walked into Gorilla, and it was like the most crowded elevator. Like there was just everyone just turns and looks, and jaws drop on the floor, and people are like, "What?" And then, the world saw what came next.
How many people do you think knew that you were gonna appear that night?
I'd be surprised if you needed, more than two hands to count.
So we had Becky on the show last week. I don't know if you saw her.
I don't even give a fuck. Like, yeah, he's getting it. If we made a mistake here, it's concrete, okay? So it's concrete. So that means he's an STP. We got enough. He's going progression here. We'll watch a little bit more, but he's responding as well. We'll make sure that he's not an ISTP. We're going to verify against ISTP. So let's look.
Comment. She said that her husband, Seth, didn't know. Colby didn't know. And that he was not happy about that. And other people have said this. And I don't know, right? Like, I'm just taking their words at face value. Is that accurate? Did all these guys not know?
I don't know.
You certainly didn't tip them off.
No. I was in the same boat as everybody else, where like the weeks leading up to it, they were doing all these weird little things that happen too often to seem to be coincidences. Oh, somebody uses the GTS. Somebody says best in the world. And on their face, you go, that doesn't matter. But I'm sitting at home going, should I be tanning? Like I haven't spoke to anybody. I don't know what's going on. People are messaging me. They're like, oh, you're coming back. We're so excited. I'm just
talking about everybody else is doing. He's not talking about his own personal experience here, guys.
It's like, it's just another day in professional wrestling where, for some reason, I'm like a magnet for that stuff. But I didn't tell anybody. And I think that's why it was a secret. And it was such a
he still goes back to, I think that's why.
Shock. My wife knew. Nick, Triple H, lawyers. That's who knew on my side. I text my family, like my sisters and stuff, while I was, don't text and drive.
Yes, please.
Don't do it. It's voice text, voice, whatever, voice to text. I was in my car driving to the Allstate, which is the Rosemont. It's always going to be the Rosemont Horizon to me. Yeah.
That's when you told your family.
That's when I said, hey guys, just heads up. I'll talk to you all about it in depth tomorrow. This came together really, really fast. I'm on my way to the building right now.
Were you holding out hope with all those clues being dropped back in Chicago? You're a free man. Were you hoping to get that call? Were you not sitting around and being like, oh gosh, I hope they call me, but like, was there someone in the back of your mind saying like, this would be nice? I'm ready for this.
Yeah, the wrestling booker in my head was like, oh, this is the sweet spot. This is the business. This is what you do. But I wasn't desperate for, like a job or anything like that. Which makes it sound like I'm not grateful for where I'm at right now, which is the exact opposite. Like it's been an absolute dream thus far. So yeah, like I can't turn that part of my head off. The wrestling booker, I'm always doing, oh, this is, so that part's always going to be in motion.
What is that feeling like when you walk out? Even like those seconds before the music is going to hit, and then you walk out to that reception back on WWE television for the first time in almost 10 years. Like, can you even put that into words? What is that like?
No, I can't put it into words. I can almost tell you just how, like what we do is like ephemeral, right? It's gone. It happens and it's gone. What we leave people with are like lasting memories and moments. And I have been fortunate enough, no matter what anybody says, like how overrated I am, how shitty I am, how I don't deserve whatever. Man, I've made some great moments, and
you're deprecating the FE.
Just when I think, okay, that's the top, it can't get any better than that, I have another one. And then when I think, wow, that's cool, I squeaked out another one. How lucky am I? It happens again. And that was one of them, like when it's so loud in the building and it's your favorite building in the world to perform in, you can't hear your entrance music. And we're all performers. We all have cues based on our music. How long the song is, what you can do. And I didn't have any parameters of, okay, we're crashing to break. So I'm milking the whole song. And then I went out there and I went, I can't hear the song because people were so loud. It was like watching a Blackhawks game in the Chicago Stadium in 1980.
Okay, I'm done. CM Punk got you ISTP. We wanted to go back and make sure that we weren't seeing anything different, because ISTP and INFJ can be a very hard type. I believe those two can be the hardest type to distinguish between ISTP and INFJ, okay? Because sometimes you get those INFJs that seems still they're pragmatic, okay, you guys? But I'm hitting for responding here. He's more responding than anything in that interview. He's concrete, he's interest, okay? Talking about what he get out of a situation, what's in it for him. Pragmatic interest, that's what I was seeing more. He's pragmatic, okay? He's rebellious, he's a contrarian, he does what he wants. He's not more likely thinking about what other people care about or wanting cooperation. He talked about that when he was going to go see his friend. This guy's more journey based, man. Life's a journey for him, progression, movement. towards the goals. Okay, he's SENI. He's more likely talking about like what's going on in the environment. He's scanning the environment with his SE and constantly seeing what other people are doing. That's why SE users constantly reference what other people are doing, because they're constantly scanning the environment. We didn't get a lot of NI there, but he's also being concrete. He's a TIFE user, a TI hero. I wish I'd have asked him more things that we could have hit him for his logical framework or whatnot, but it is what it is. We got him for ISTP. I'm gonna hit him for I'm gonna hit this guy for dominant ISTP, man. I'm gonna hit him for dominant. Okay, he reminds me a lot of Christian to a degree. If you don't know, Christian's the guy we have on the channel all the time. He's ISTP as well. Some people will say, "Oh, he looks like an INFJ." You don't know Christian. Christian's very fucking pragmatic. So we got him for ISTP, dominant. I'm gonna hit him for prodigy level. Okay, he's prodigy, and we are going to hit him for 7W6 SP/SO. Okay, that's what I'm going with this guy. So we got him for ISTP dominant prodigy level, 7W6 self-preserving /social. And this is an absolute pleasure to do this guy. Like I said, like ISTP or INFJ, you really got to be careful with them. Because I have mistyped people that were INFJs that were ISTPs and vice versa. I think they are probably the most stickiest or the hardest type to get to between those two. Just because, you know, sometimes you get that the INFJ who seems to be pragmatic, but really they're about cooperation and all that underneath the surface. So you got to be very careful of that. But this is Mongolian Mindset, and we are out.